Hello, everyone. Welcome right here to the Raising Canes in Byron, Mississippi. This is the South 78 Football Show. I'm Trellis Williams. Right here with me, Coach Chris Thigpen of the Terry Bulldogs. It is playoff week. The first round of the playoffs is here. Friday night, you guys head down to Pascagoula to take on the Panthers, the 8-2 Pascagoula Panthers. And you guys came off a win last week, 34-18 win over Forest Hill on the road. So, Coach, let's start off by talking about that game last week. Now, Forest Hill gave you a fight. They had, Cavett, their running back, really played very well for them, and their quarterback did as well. And they put together a good game, but you guys were able to handle them and get the win 34-18. Just kind of talk about that game, analyze that game for us.
Right. We knew it was going to be a game that they had a lot still to play for.
Yep.
Got a lot of pride in how they play, and their coaches and their team made playoffs last year. So we knew going into the game it would be a challenge for us. It wasn't going to be one of those games where we just get off the bus and you just find a way to win.
Yep.
But we had to play and play well, and we outplayed them, getting the win. And so I thought Cavett is a really good player. He
Yep.
could play on any team in our region and be
Yeah.
a starter, and not just a starter, but a really good impact player. He has great balance. His vision is very good, and good things tend to happen when he get the ball. So we knew he was their best player on offense that we had to try to slow down. And he made some incredible runs, and for them. But our defense rose to the occasion. When we needed to make a play, we made
Yep.
a play. When we needed to get a stop, we made a stop. Quintarius White, had a interception there at the end of the half when they had a chance to drive and score. Jordan McGee played well. Caleb Tillman got a pick six at a critical point in the game.
That's right.
So, and then we had some young guys step up on our defensive line. We've been kind of hampered by injuries, and we don't have as much quality depth as we would like on the defensive line. But some young guys played, and they got a lot of reps, and so they came through. We were out last week. We were without our top two defensive linemen, our two starting defensive linemen. But as Coach Benson and the staff does a great job of getting the kids ready to play,
Yep.
making sure they know what to do. They're very motivated to go out there and play well. And my message to them was that, hey, some of you guys been waiting all year to get an opportunity to play. Now you have this opportunity to play. We'll see what you got. And then offensively, when Rondé Baker touches the ball, good things happen for us. He's an explosive back. He's got speed, power, vision. I thought offensive line blocked really well, and we opened up some running lanes for him. And once he hits them, man, this a guy running at you almost 200 pounds. You don't
Yep.
want to tackle that guy, but so many times in the game. And so he had a really good game. And then another guy kind of merged that we knew he had talent. We, you know, we think even the next 2 years he's gonna be even more of an impact player. Keeson Kendrick
Yep.
scored a touchdown. He touched the ball one time, and I mean he made a great run. Had really good blocking, but the cuts he made
And the speed.
and the speed to get in the end zone was something we've kind of seen all year. And so, that's the thing about your football team. You always want to try to create competition at each position, and at the receiver position, he kept kind of standing out some. He's a guy that kind of came up in our meetings like, okay, let's give him a shot. Let's give him a shot. He's been having a really good practice. He has plays with good effort. He remembers the plays and what he's supposed to do. He's just a little undersized and young, and so, but he did a great job, I thought. And so, and then of course Brady. I thought Brady played a really good game. Um, and he has dual roles. He's our quarterback and our punter. He handled a bad snap, and I think he ended up kicking it with his left foot, but he got it off, to avoid the punt. So Brady, seems to get better and better every game, and we knew he would. We knew the game
Yep.
would kind of slow down for him as the season progressed. And so now to say you're a sophomore starting quarterback, for a playoff team is, in 6A is, I think it's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And so just kind of want to focus a little bit more on your offense. And in that last game, you were able to find some things. Talked about that play to Keeson Kendrick. Also, Rondé Baker just doing his thing, what he's been doing all year long. Just kind of talk about that offense and what did you see from that in that Forest Hill game that made you feel good heading into this playoff week? Because you're going to need some good offense here against a team like Pascagoula who can put points up on the board.
Well, you got to be able to, at this point in the year, the games are one up front.
Yep.
You got to be able to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You got to be able to do that, and then you don't want to turn the ball over, on offense. So you win the turnover battle, you're able to run the football and stop the run, you're going to give yourself a chance to win in November. And so, Coach Boone and our offensive staff has been doing a really good job of putting our players in a position to be successful. We've done a really good job, I thought, this year more than any other year I've been head coach of, really having a more of attacking style offense. I thought maybe, just reflecting back on it now, we were somewhat conservative in years past. But we're pushing the ball down the field. We're throwing the ball more than we've ever thrown. And then a lot of that has to do with Brady Busby. So I got to give Brady his credit. We finally have a quarterback that could throw the ball accurately down the field, from the middle of the field to outside the hashes and to the numbers. And so we have a quarterback that could do it. We have a quarterback that could do RPOs. And so, that allows you to do more offensively, and this has been our best offensive year as far as production, since I've been at Terry. And so, but we do a really good job, I think, of, even coming up with shot plays, as we call them, and you got to have explosive plays, you got to have explosive plays. If you're going to go into a game, as one of my old coaches say, with 3 yards in a cloud of dust and having 11 and 12 play drives, that's not a great success formula in high school football, I don't think. So you got to find explosive plays or create explosive plays on offense. And when you get explosive plays, you score points.
Yeah, so last year you guys beat George County in the first round. You're in the same exact situation you're in this year as the 3 seed heading on the road to play the first round of the playoffs. That game was crazy. You had one player in R.J. Hall account for 6 touchdowns with 2 pick sixes, a kickoff return, a punt return, and 2 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just an unbelievable performance. And you're able to get the win against a team that was playing well offensively in George County.
Right.
And so this year, have you been able to speak to your guys, kind of remind them about that and just tell them that we're going to have to step up and make big plays, and you made a bunch of them in that game last year.
That's right, and we certainly don't have R.J. Hall this year because R.J. The greatness of R.J. Hall was that he could impact the game on offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah.
We don't have a player, and very few teams have a player that could do that.
Yeah.
On that type of level. He didn't do it against the Cupcake. He did it in the first round against a higher seed opponent.
Yeah.
And so on the road at that. So that's probably the best performance I've seen a player have, in 15 years of coaching in a meaningful game. But we have we try to get it more by committee. Jordan McGee certainly could play a major role in that. Rondé Baker running the ball and catching the ball. You got Braden Gibson. You got Keeson, Kendrick. You got Tim Jackson. And so, and then on defense, you got, guys like Quintarius White, Michael White. You got Caleb Tillman that's capable of doing that, Glendarius Ford. And so we know, our goal for Friday is to go down and get in a high-scoring match, where it ends up like a basketball game. We don't want that. We want a football, you know, playoff football game
Yeah.
where, we think that's the best formula for us to win.
Yes, and just kind of want to turn the attention a little bit to Pascagoula. Pascagoula, they score a lot of points, and that's what you're kind of referring to there. They throw the ball deep downfield. Talking to your secondary, how are they getting ready to kind of deal with that? Because they've done a good job as of recent, and main thing that they do a really good job of is preventing things from happening.
Right.
Against Hattiesburg, you put together a real good defensive performance. I mean, really,
Right.
the problem was just weren't able to get in the end zone enough to get the win against a team like that. But you're talking about a team that can really pass the football like Hattiesburg. You're able to stop them.
Right.
What's the focus here against Pascagoula?
And to your point, their quarterback Hattiesburg is Mr. 6A football, Deuce Vance. So Silas Quarter is the quarterback at Pascagoula, kid that was in the same position last year for their team. So he has a lot of football experience. He's a very good quarterback. He kind of, puts us in the mind. Brady kind of puts us in the mind of him as far as his style of play. He's not a dual threat type of runner, so he's not going to extend plays, but his timing and when he's on schedule,
Yeah.
he's very good. He's probably the best we've seen all season in terms of throwing the football, accuracy, and putting the ball where it needs to be. He's very good at that, and he runs their offense very well. So, we feel like if we could knock off his time, put pressure on him, that's going to help our guys out in the secondary. Um, and I guess unlike Hattiesburg, I think Pascagoula have some really good receivers. Number 12 is really good. They have a number 5 that's really good. And then, I think their best offensive weapon is their running back. He's a really good player,
Yeah.
really strong,
15 touchdowns on the year.
really fast. He can play well. So we have our work cut out for us. This time of the year, you're not going to play a bad team.
Yep. No.
So, this is what the playoffs is all about, the team that comes ready to play mentally and physically. And physically, you may not be at your best, but from a mental standpoint, you have to be locked in to play your best football this time of the year.
Yep. And so, folks, on Friday night, the Terry Bulldogs will head down to Pascagoula to take on the Panthers down there. 3-hour trip, long ways away. So I know that that a lot of you probably be watching online. So please be sure to check out the stream. It is right here on the TS Shittim Network YouTube channel. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. Kickoff will be at 7 p.m. And do you have anything to add here, Coach?
Yeah, I would just like to say, to all the fans, I do believe we're going to get a really good faction that's going to go with us. We're blessed
There you go.
that we're going to have our band come and our cheer squad come. And so Mr. Smothers, Coach Odom, and everyone else, they do a really good job of, setting the scene and the atmosphere for our team. So at every game they're able to come to is really appreciated by myself. And I know the players love it too.
Yep.
You want to play in big games and you want it to feel like it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so but yeah, going on the road on the coast, a place we hadn't been before. Terry's never played Pascagoula in 15 years. I've never coached a game there or been to that high school. So it's the first time for everything. And so hopefully for us, we'll be sitting right here next week doing it again.
That's right. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping we're going to be back here next week for the South 78 football show. But on Friday night, Terry will take on Pascagoula. Be right here on the TS Shittim Network YouTube channel. We got some more right here on the South 78 football show. Hello, everyone. We are back. This is the South 78 football show right here in Byron, Mississippi at the Raising Canes. I'm Trellis Williams. With me right here is Linda Collins, the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce right here in Byron, Mississippi. And so, Ms. Collins, my first question for you is that I know that you kind of took on this role a little bit more in the recent past. Just kind of talk about your decision to come in here and work with Byron. I mean, Byron's booming right now.
Yes, it is exciting, and it has been 7 or 8 months now that I've been involved. I started April 1st. Coming into the chamber had been without an executive director for over a year and a half, and, trying to dig in and get going, but let me tell you, it is absolutely booming.
Yeah.
There are so many people joining the chamber. There are businesses that are moving into Byram, new businesses. In fact, just within the last 8 months, we've had about 36 or 37 new businesses that have joined the chamber,
Yep.
or even businesses that are not new but right here locally in Byram. Um, see all the excitement and what's going on, and they're really energetic about becoming a part of the chamber.
Yes, and we at the TSJW Network, we're a member of the Chamber of Commerce as well, and so definitely know you guys and what you do. But just kind of explain to the viewers
Yes.
what the Chamber of Commerce does and what the goal is here.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the chamber is all the cities here, all the businesses in the city. There are many that are already members, and when a person or a company become a member of the chamber, we give the opportunity for their newsletters. So we advertise for them. We also have different programs monthly. We have a coffee talk with the mayor once a month. On the first Tuesday of each month, we also have the third Tuesday of each month. We have a luncheon, and we have naturally the board meetings for the chamber. The vice president is here with me tonight, the president of the chamber, as well as the members. It has been absolutely incredible because being a part of the Byram Chamber and living in Byram, not really being involved, just kind of live out in the country and enjoy my squirrels and rabbits and
Yeah.
the peace and quiet, and then all come
Yeah.
into town and find businesses that I didn't even know was here. So, but advertising and marketing is what I do. I make sure that once a person joins the chamber, that their businesses are well known out in the public, all over the city, and throughout Mississippi.
Yeah, that's definitely very valuable. So, of course, to any of our viewers, if you're business in Byram, definitely want to join the Chamber of Commerce. Last question for you. So, kind of just tell us a little bit about your background before becoming executive director here at the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, and I also want to say that you don't necessarily have to be in Byram to join the chamber.
Yep.
We have members that all over from Terry. We have members that have joined from Terry. We also have members throughout Utica, Raymond, Jackson. So anyone that wants to join the chamber, just to get their business out there. I am a retired nurse and had never had been employed in the state of Mississippi, lived out of the state and returned 20 years ago. And in the process of returning, I landed a job with a contract job for health resources for the CDC when we had the pandemic. And so I kind of got out there and covered 13 counties along with all the other people that they had chosen to work. And those 13 counties percentages was 50%, and we brought them up into the 90%. So Copiah County was the county that won over the 13 counties. I had 5 mayors there, and we set up units out in the rural areas so that the people would not have to come into Walmart or Walgreens, and which gave them an opportunity to be treated and taken care of and had someone, and also having people that was concerned not about just the pandemic but all resources. There were elderly people that need everything. So in doing so, I had a 1-year contract with them, and then I met the vice president of the board, and she said, Miss Linda, you just need to come help us. And I went, now look, I don't want a full-time job, but I'll take it part-time. So I'm actually part-time, but I do work it full-time. Because it takes all of that energy to make sure. And what has happened within the last 7 or 8 months, it's happening.
That's good. All right, well, thank you, Ms. Collins, for joining us right here on the South 78
Thank you so much.
Football Show. And we appreciate you all joining us. We appreciate Tire Depot for sponsoring this show. And the Terry Bulldogs take on the Pascagoula Panthers this weekend, Friday night at 7 p.m. We'll be live right here on the TSJW Network YouTube channel. So we appreciate you all joining us. We hope that we're back next week for more football action. We out.